Speaking of fans, I am a fan of these guys that are coming on next. Let me tell you about our dealership panel. So we got a few cool folks here. Darren Huggins, he's from Berkshire Hathaway. He's going to try and call in. He's like trying to get on a flight. He told him to hold the plane. That's how important this is to him to be here today. So anyway, so we've got Darren, we've got Dave Black. Oh man, Dave is such a neat guy. You guys, if you haven't met Dave Black, if you haven't heard about this guy, he's next level. He's doing amazing things. Been in the industry for 36 years. Joined Number One Cochrane in April of 2015 as their corporate collision director. Just always on the leading edge of new and exciting things, outside of the box thinker. If we have time, we'll try and dive into some of the unique things that Dave's done. Always has his eye on the future. Lots thinking about like how can we embrace artificial intelligence. When he got started with them, they were 5 locations doing $17 million. Today, they're 11 locations doing over $60 million currently. So the Dave Black effect is definitely a real thing, and we're very honored to have him. As well, we got the infamous Jesse Parks. Also known as, Jesse the Stud Parks is the collision director of Freeman Collision and Freeman Toyota with 24 years in the collision industry. He's become the thought leader of a lot of different areas, and he's got so many different awards from being a top performer from OEM councils, affiliate networks, the best in best, the national best awards. He's always getting there. You see this guy everywhere. I do think he's a triplet. I'm pretty sure he's part of a triplet because he's everywhere all at once. That's what I think of him. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. Truly honored to have you on part of our dealership panel. Man, why don't we just dive right in? We'll get this party started. And maybe I'll start with you, Jesse. And first of all, guys, these people are busy individuals. Jesse's at an event right now, the same event as Mandadar, actually, right? These guys are running around and they're sharing their insights and their value. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being here. Jesse, I want to know, you're really known for being on the leading edge. You're always out there. You're always finding yourself in these unique places, preparing for the future. How are you staying ahead of the game? What is your approach to that?
Very carefully, Ryan. Can you hear me?
Yep. What's that, Jesse? No, I'm messing with you. We can hear you. I'm sorry.
Like you said, I'm in an event in Dallas right now, and I just want to make sure my connectivity is good. But yeah, to answer your question very carefully, both the other triplets were sick, so I had to step out of that one to get here. But yeah, I mean, it just takes an effort. I've always said you got to be passionate about being passionate, and you hear people talk about this industry being really challenging right now, and then you hear people talking about it's never been a better time to be in it. I'm one of the thinkers that there's never been a better time to be in it, but you have to know how fast it's evolving and the tech that's coming out, and the challenges and the opportunities. And to get that information, you really do have to get out of your box, get to a lot of stuff, and really make the effort to educate yourself and get data so that you can make good decisions, fact-based decisions. So it's just about getting out there and spending the time and making the effort to grow, learn from everybody we meet. And, I try to put myself in a lot of events where, I like to be the dumbest guy in the room.
That's right. Hey, I want to ask David, as an outside of the box thinker yourself, what initiatives have you guys been working on?
Well, I'll tell you, and Ryan can attest to this. Ryan and I've kind of been working together on and off for the last couple of years. I met Ryan at a Toyota certified conference, and we're very intrigued on artificial intelligence. Our owner, we've got 39 dealerships. We have 11 collision centers, but our owner, his mindset is this. He believes that we are a technology company that just happens to sell and service cars. And that's the whole mindset that we've taken. And he challenges each of the business units just to that. How can we harness technology such as AI is the major function right now to become better at what we do, and of course to be able to help control our personnel costs as we go forward. And we're all short on people, so if we can develop processes and any type of technology that'll help us do that. And that's one of the things we've been working really, really heavy on. I saw you got John Biggs on.
Are you allowed to expand on that a little bit? What are some of the specific things you're doing?
Yeah, and I see you guys got John Biggs on a little bit later. Didn't realize it, but we're part of the pilot with the UVI system. When I first saw that, that it brought so many things out, and there wasn't really a big collision base. So I called Ryan and said, "Hey, I think we really got something here." And he met us in Indianapolis, and we took a hard look at this thing. And it takes high resolution photos as you drive through this system, and I'm sure they'll expand a little bit more on it. But there's so much possibilities for used cars. Being able, what I'm trying to force Ryan to do is tie an estimating system to these high resolution photos, to where we can drive through and in 30 seconds have a half decent sheet written. It identifies the dents and things and all those things. Now we just have to understand how going forward do we harness that? How do we take it and build something that we can all use? And one of the other features is the check-in process. It does identify everything and photo documentation, and it helps us with the check-in process. So there's a lot of uses, and there's just a lot of exciting things with AI.
I just love it. You're just such a different thinker. Can you talk about, I think a unique thing that happened was we went through the pandemic. You have this amazing parts warehouse, Dave. Can you expand on the thought process around that, and just explain to the crowd a little bit about your parts procurement? It's so unique.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you. The first time Rob Cochran and I spoke about the need of a parts warehouse was when I was interviewing with him in late 2014, because we basically sat down at the GM Center up in Detroit, had dinner, sat in a piano bar, and he kind of told me all the things that he wanted to do with his collision business. And one of the first things we discussed is parts procurement, because if you can't properly procure parts, that's over 50% of our business today. So, and getting those parts in a timely manner controls our cycle time. So during 2016 and 2017, we built a parts warehouse, 80,000 square feet. I have some really, really great counterparts on the parts and service team. We moved all of our brands that we deal with, which is 18 different manufacturers. We got them to deliver all the collision crash parts just to that parts warehouse. And at that point, now we're up to 38 delivery trucks. We got about a $10 million inventory. But the biggest thing, Ryan, was, and you know this, we were able to reduce our cycle time for parts from 7.5 days to under 2. So basically every part that my operations order, we have a 2.5 day cycle time as a group, as complete with all manufacturers. That's huge. I mean, it enabled us to drastically reduce our overall cycle times.
That's a beautiful thing. I think we got Darren Huggins joining us too. Can you hear us, Darren?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
We got you. We heard you were in the bathroom in an airplane or something like that. So I really appreciate you calling in.
No, I was my flight got a little delayed, so I got enough time to get on here. But I apologize because I wasn't supposed to be on this trip, but it just worked out that way. So sorry, I'm a little late, gang. But yeah. But I don't know if you can see me or not. You probably can't, but that's okay. But hey, listen, I'm here to contribute what I can for you. So fire away at me, Ryan.
Yeah, well, we won't keep you long. I know you're in transit, but give us some of the exciting stuff. I mean, honestly, you got such an amazing network of shops. Give us some of the highlight reels of what you're excited about for the future with your network of shops.
Well, our biggest thing is our key is longevity and tenure in my leadership team. And, we had our all-time best record. It was our 15th record year in 17 years. The only 2 years we haven't had record growth and record sales, gross and net. was COVID and the year after. But we're really excited about RO growth. I think, our biggest opportunity is sustaining what we have. Our business grew 25% last year. Our car count was up about 20%. And it's the first year in 2 years that we've seen increase in car count. And I'll be honest with you, I think we really, our biggest thing is we took advantage of market conditions. And, my message to everybody out in the collision world, if you didn't see that growth last year, you got to look at your business and ask yourself why. Because you may not have the right team. You may not have the right execution. I'm not sure, but I mean, it was a great year. It was the best year ever in my company's business. And, in our 32 centers, I mean, we killed it. And, I don't see that changing a lot. We are seeing a little bit of moderation in certain points of the country, but there's still capacity issues in the market, and insurance companies are looking for partners and customers are wanting to get cars fixed. And as a dealer, we're just taking advantage of what's given to us. I'll be real honest with you, Ryan.
Yeah.
No,
I want to go over to Ron, my buddy Ron Griggle. How are you, Ron?
Good. I'm great.
Good. So I've known Ron for a while now, and one of the reasons I really wanted him to be on this panel is, everybody in the dealership world has heard about the red-headed stepchild effect, and it's kind of been a joke in the industry for years. The first time I met Ron and the executive team at Bill Marsh Auto Group, I was sincerely impressed to a level I haven't been. From top to bottom, this place cares about their collision center, and just the leadership all the way through this organization is like something it's refreshing. It's new. So for any of you smaller, 1 or 2 store dealerships out there, there's a lot of hope for you. And I wanted to bring Ron on and just and ask you, how do you do that? How do you do that at your organization to build that kind of a culture from top to bottom where people give a crap about the body shop as much as the sales department?
Well, it started back in the early 90s when all the dealers were building their body shops on the DLAMs, and which sprung to light all the DRPs out of the dealerships. But our founder,
I worked in a dealership during that period. Yeah,
he was very pro body shop, and he saw the future. He saw the potential of that, and so he built this place and branded it, even without our name, as an independent. And we picked up as many DRPs, which was the buzz, the thing to do back then. Now you kind of wonder if that's the right thing to do, but that's and it's been that way ever since. And frankly, our company's diversified, where we're fighting the retail front on new and used car sales, parts and service, and collision repair. And we need those diversities because there's ups and downs in every one of them, right? So
you came out of the service side of the business, right? So you kind of have a unique approach maybe to the collision side. And
the service side is very process driven, very proactive, and the body shop frankly lagged behind that when I got involved with it. That was been my experience. It's kind of the old school holdout, and
so
we took a lot of that.
How do you reconcile the two? Because I know my company actually works with Bill Marsh, so I know a little bit about their drive towards great processes. But what comes first, process or culture?
Culture. And I'll answer that short because I see we're running on time. But if you look at what the definition of culture, if it's a big buzzword. What really is it? And Simon Sinek defines it as the sum of values and behaviors, right? And that's what it is. And leadership sets the values, and then the process keeps those values forefront. You got to what are your values? Is fun a value for you in your store? Then there's probably a process for that. I know we have that. Customer centric, employee centric, driven. We're a driven. It's a value for us. So and process is thick. It's hard to change it, especially if it's down. What do you want it to be, and then start moving in that direction. But culture first, and then process second.
I love it. You know what? I want to ask a question of the whole panel here now. And maybe I'll start with you, Jesse. But one of the things that we've been monitoring is some big changes with EVs and the different things. It's putting pressure on the service lanes more than ever before, right? So we look at it where the service lanes are kind of freaking out, like no more oil, lube, filter, transmission service, like that could be the future. But as you're seeing, working with closely with service departments, working in our industry, how is this creating opportunities for the body shop? Where do we find the opportunity in the changes that we're seeing in that environment? Jesse, can I start with you on that one?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think whether it's an ICE motor or an EV motor, the cars are going to crash. So yeah, they're going to have less opportunities, but in talking to some of the OEMs, they're trying to get away from a mentality of an oil change, where they're changing fluids. There's so many other things that they can check when they're looking for maintenance. When you look at, Toyota's service plan, they have the 5K, which is tire rotation. They'll look at all the CVs, the axles. They'll look at other parts of the vehicle, and then they won't even do the oil change until 10K. And I think it's just like our industry right now. If you are the believer that it is the most interesting time of the industry, and it's a really good time to adopt new branches to your tree. I walked into a shop recently and I saw a school bus size sign on the wall. It says the most dangerous phrase in the language is "This is the way we've always done it." Yeah. And when you're out there and you're looking at new ways to do it, you can't be afraid of it. We talked about EV. I am passionate about being an early adopter. It's only a matter of time before the choice is out of our hands. Right now we have an opportunity, for AI to be a part of, building this clubhouse that we're all going to be hanging out in, whether we like it or not. I think, we hear staffing challenges, but I think there's a lot of things in the dealership where we actually have unique opportunities. And, there's a lot of things with dealerships. It took them a little while to catch up and actually learn that this could actually be a profit center and make a lot of money. And we do a lot of stuff different that as these bigger fish come out and, the consolidators that buy all these stores, it actually puts us in kind of an advantage because a lot of us aren't playing the DRP scorecard game. We're not using a lot of aftermarket parts. We're not chasing some of the less important things that are important to them, but not to us. And what it does is it creates every day that work environment gets more and more unique. So I see that as an opportunity where, if for the first time in a long time, if somebody applies in my shop, we don't have a spot. I'll help them find a home, but who can say that? And then also, for the dealerships too, for us to get out of our box and look at other opportunities by, watching what's going on with first notice of loss and, what's happening with other vehicles that are investing heavily in connected services. We don't have to stay so narrow-minded that it's, even if we don't sell that brand in our dealership, if there's another OEM that backs up the brand and provides the training and has another way of us to get another source of work, it's not always about us needing the work today because someone else said it, but like if you're not busy now, there's probably something wrong. You're doing something wrong. But where are we going to be in 5 years when the LOR reduces and people are going to start getting in line to find these opportunities? I think that the time is now for them to be had.
Well said. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, we got a couple minutes left, guys. Who else wants to weigh in on what do you see as a big opportunity here?
Well, I can tell you, Ryan, from our standpoint, and you can either say fortunate or unfortunate. We've been Tesla for several years, so we've vested a lot into the Tesla repair program. Been doing it for about 10 years. We were kind of ready for EV, so you can either look at EV as a challenge or an opportunity. And I view it more as an opportunity because of the amount of training, the amount of equipment, and the expertise that it takes to work on the EVs. Doesn't mean right now every shop we own has to be an EV center. We've got 2 EV centers in our network, and that services us well right now. And you have to be prepared with new charging stations and how do you monetize all these things that are coming our direction? So I think if you really take it head to head, and don't be afraid of it, quite frankly, there's a real bright future there.
I like
Love it.
All right, Ron. Take your time, buddy. We don't mean to rush you.
No, we're good. We're good. As far as opportunities go, I'm talking to the dealers out there, and I know there's not a lot, but if you've got, first of all, the biggest opportunity for anything with EV is dealership spending, right? That's we're all going to spend a lot of money on training, so we're not going to talk about that. I'm talking to the dealers that are out there struggling with front end gross, and dealers that are struggling with allocation, and dealers that are dealing with floor plan expense on new and used. That's cash flow going in the wrong direction. And for those of you out there in the dealer world, and maybe you're not going to see this, but maybe someone out there knows a dealer that could hear this, there's the PVR on the average body shop job is about the same as your front end gross, right? So look at the body shop, whether it's small, big, good, or bad, get better. That's what I got written back here is get better. Okay, get better, grow your body shop, because you know what? That's margin somewhere that you're not getting somewhere else. And you guys know what floor plan is right now, 7-8%. You're spending millions of dollars out there, and there's gross in another front. And maybe you didn't look there before, but look there now. And how do you do that? Well, I had a whole thing, but efficiency, look for efficiencies in your workflow, your scheduling, your throughput, add capacity in your departments by finding people. And you mentioned service departments. There's technicians out there, entry level, that can put a bumper on. Look at your stall ratios. You don't need 2 or 3 stalls per one. Okay. Yep. And find a way to recruit, train, and develop. And the last big opportunity for us right now is there's a change that's happening that we haven't seen yet, and that's in the tsunami of work. Okay, it's not going to be here forever. A lot of people got fat. A lot of people got, you guys mentioned good years. A lot of people got complacent. Our market shut down and said, we don't want your business. And guess what? They're drying up. There's a hole coming. There's a vacuum coming in business. And the best thing you can do, and I'm not talking to anyone on this call, but double down on your customer service. Build tomorrow's customers today. The marketing ecosystem in a body shop's 18 months. Okay, so that guy walking in, make him feel welcome. Make him feel like telling someone else. And the guy whose cars is leaving today, he needs to tell his story to someone that hasn't wrecked yet. So it's coming, and we need to double down now. Dave, that's why you couldn't sell out that customer service workshop, but your production one sold out because people have taken their eye off that customer service ball. And we can't do that. You got to keep the gas on all the time on customer service.
Good point.
Well said.
Yeah.
Darren,
that's my spiel.
Is Darren still with us? Darren.
I'm not sure he can hear us. We might have lost Darren. All right. Well, let's wrap it up there, guys. Thank you so much. This was super insightful. He is here.
Hey, Ryan.
Okay.
I'm here. Hey, so listen, all on the EVs, it's all great information. It's all good. But let's look at the reality that the EVs are a little bit in retreat. When you look at the domestic OEs, they're doing an about face. Toyota's all but out of it. They can't give these EVs away on the front end of these things right now. So again, I think we have to be prepared to repair them. And I know David has put a lot into it. We've kind of gone the other way. I mean, we've repaired some, but we're being very cautious on what we're doing. And if you look at what's going on with Tesla right now, a lot of these tax credits are going away. And this thing's in a little bit of trouble right now. So you got to be realistic that is America really ready for EV? Maybe in California, but I can tell you in Texas, it's kind of gone about face. So, hey, I do think it's the future. Is it going to be in my lifetime? I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, there are cars that got to be repaired. There's opportunity out there. Do you have a plan, and can you execute your plan? That would be my 2 cents.
I love
it, man. And Texas is its own country down there. So
that's it.
That's right. We're on the ballot. We're on the ballot to secede from the union. We're ready to do it right now.
Well, before it gets too political, we'll wrap up the dealer panel. Gentlemen, thank you so much. So honored to have each one of you guys join us today. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Jesse.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, guys. Good job.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you, guys.
Appreciate you.
Take care, bud.
All right.